Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another character creation video, where today we are going to take a look at the Warlock. Now, out of all the classes, Warlock is probably my least favorite, and that's just because they revolve around rituals and things like that, which confused the hell out of me at points. However, I have seen people play Warlocks, and they are a very fun and powerful class if you understand them. So we're going to go through the process of learning one today. So, we're going to be making a level 1 Warlock. My kids are playing outside. Make sure you just don't hear them. Alright, so you are loud. Anyways, what type of Warlock do we want to make? We're going to make a Tiefling. Tieflings are demonic humans in a sense. They are part human, part something else, something demonic, something evil. So that's what we're going to go with. So let's start with, of course, all of the Tiefling features. So Tieflings have a base speed of... Come on. No, I didn't want to do that. They have low light vision. They are medium size. And they get a +2 to their intellect and charisma score, which is perfect for Warlock. They also know common, and a choice of one other, and we're going to go abyssal. Sort of fits with this type of Warlock Tiefling. We get a +1 racial bonus to attack rolls against bloodied foes. Let's put that there. +1 attack rolls versus bloodied foes. Simple as that. We also have fire resistance 5+. We also gain Infernal Wrath, which is an encounter power that we will go ahead and quickly list down here. Infernal Wrath. What Infernal Wrath does is a personal minor action. You channel your fury to gain a +1 power bonus to your next attack roll against an enemy that hit you since your last turn. If your attack hits and deals damage, you add your charisma as extra damage, which is nice. Right, let's scroll back up. That is all the things you need to know for a Tiefling. Now let's go on to the Warlock. Warlock, if you're following in the player's handbook, is on page 129. 129. So, they are a striker role. Your attack powers are highly damaging and often weaken or hamper the target in some way. You can elude attacks by flying, teleporting, or turning invisible. Your power source is via Arcana. You gain your magical power from a pact you forge with a powerful supernatural force or an unnamed entity. Your key abilities are Charisma, Constitution, and Intelligence. You are proficient in cloth armor, leather armor, simple melee, simple range weapons. Implements are rods and wands. You defense, 1 reflex, and 1 will. So let's splat reflex. Since we're starting at 1, all of this is at 10. Alright. So now let's put in our ability modifiers. I should have die around here somewhere. Where did they go? There they are. Alright. So I really like the roll die system, where you take 46, you roll it, you add the 3 highest, and that's what you get. So that's what we're going to do. So my first roll here is a 6, 3, 2, and 1, 6, 3, 9, 10, 11. So let's mark that down right here. 11. 5 more. 6, 12, 3, 12, 13, 14, 15. 4, 3, and 3, 6, 10. And these are actually really nice rolls. 6, 12, 3 again for another 15. 6, 12, 4 for a 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 more. And we got a 5, a 6, and a 1. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for a 12. Alright. We got those. Now, let's put them in. So, our key abilities are Charisma, Constitution, and Intelligence. So, we gotta find the balance there. We got 2 15s. So, if we put the Charisma and Intellect with the 15, we got 17s. And then we can give the Constitution the 16, which is exactly what I'm going to do. 15, 16, 17, 16, 17. That gets rid of this and these. So now we have an 11, a 10, and a 12. Now, we're not going to be focusing on strength for attacks. We're more about demons, spells, stuff like that. So we're going to give the strength the 10. Now we also want some added defense. So we're going to give the dexterity the 12 and the wisdom an 11. Now, if you don't have the ability modifiers memorized, you can go to page 17 of this player's handbook and it will give you based on the scores. So for having a 10, we do not get the ability modifier. However, for having a 10, we get a plus 3 modifier. For having a 12, we get a plus 1. For having a 17, we get a plus 3. And for having an 11, we get a 0. So now we can go back to the Warlock page on 129 and implement the rest of the information. So now that we got the ability modifiers, we can start with our hit points. And something I've been doing a lot more lately myself has been putting how much you gain, hit points you gain per level. Points gained per level is 5. So our healing surges are 6 plus the Constitution modifier. Our Constitution modifier is 3, so we have 9. Our max HP is 12 plus Constitution score, which means our max HP is 28. Our bloodied is 14, and our surge value is 7. Right? Pretty sure. I'm going to double check that real fast. If that is correct, then oh my lord, I am good at math. 28 divided by 4. OMG, look at me. I paid attention in math class. Woo woo. No, I didn't. Anyways. So, our max HP. This here is the same since we are at level 1. So let's go ahead and put them in. Now, these aren't going to be the final results because we might have more things added to it. But for now, let's see what we got. So we got a 3 here, a 3 here, and a 3 here. That's really nice. That's a pretty solid curve, honestly. Alright. Alright. So now, the class features. We have Eldridge Blasts. We have, we're going to get blind for each one. Eldritch Pact. We have Prime Shot. We have Shadow Walk. And we have Warlock's Curse. These are all of the features that you get. Now, as a Warlock, you can go, there's 2 build options. There's the Deceptive Warlock and there's the Scourge Warlock. So let's get a little bit more information on these 2, alright? So, the Deceptive Warlock, you prefer spells that deal less damage, but that inflict a variety of penalties and negative conditions on your foes. You'd rather fight at range and avoid getting caught in close-up battles. Most of your attack powers depend on charisma, so that should be your best score. Many of your powers receive a bonus if you have a good intelligence score, so that should be your second score. Constitution should be your third score, since you might want to choose some constitution based powers. You need it for good fortitude defense anyways. Alright, now Scourge Warlocks. No subtlety here, you want to deal damage. You're tougher than the Deceptive Warlock, and you've got powers to help you attack and defend in melee, as well as excellent range attacks. Your best attack powers depend on Constitution. Make that your best ability score. Choose Intellect second base because it provides special bonuses to many of your powers and improves your reflex defense and AC too. Charisma is clearly your third. Alright, so in looking here, they're all about the same. Our charisma and intellect are higher though, even if it is by 1 than our constitution, but in the end that doesn't matter because it will be based on the ability modifiers of what our attacks would be doing. So we can go for either one here. I want to go for the Deceptive Warlock, so that's the one I'm going to be going for. Now, let's start with, well, features. Eldridge Blast. We need to know what Eldridge Blast does. Well, Eldridge Blast, all Warlocks know that Eldridge Blast at will power. This power can be used as a basic attack. You gain this power as well as another at will power as determined by your Eldritch Pack. And that's the next thing we're going to get into, but we know that Eldritch Blast is an at will. So let's write it here. Eldritch Blast. And it counts as a basic attack. Alright, this is where Warlocks start to get a little bit more complex. We have the Eldritch Pact. You have forged a pact with mysterious entities that grant you your arcana powers. Choose one of the following pacts: Fey Pact, Infernal Pact, or Star Pact. The pact you choose determines the following Warlock abilities. So, as a Deceptive Warlock, it suggests that we take the Star Pack. We're going to read through all of the packs and then we'll see what we choose. We'll probably pick the Star Pack for simplicity's sake. Alright, so with these you get at-will spells. Your pack determines one of the at-will spells you know. You get something called a pact boon. Each pact includes a pact boon. The pact boon is a granted power you can use to further hex your enemies. The pact that you take also provides bonuses to certain Warlock powers. Individual powers detail the effects, if any. Your Eldritch Pact selection has one of them. Alright. Let's start with the first pact, Fey Pact. You have forged a bargain with ancient immoral powers of the Feywild. Some are primitive earth spirits, grim and menacing. Some are capricious wood, sky, or water spirits. and others are incarnations of seasons of natural forces who roam the fairy realm like wild gods. They bestow magic that ranges from feral and savage to wondrous and enchanting. We gain Eye Bite, which is an at-will spell. A Misty Step. You have the Misty Step Pact boon. You instantly transform into silver mist that streams a short distance and reforms, allowing you to flee or maneuver to set up a deadly attack. And whenever an enemy under your Warlock's curse is reduced to 0 hit points or fewer, you can immediately teleport 3 squares as a free action. Next is the Infernal Pact. Long ago, a forgotten race of devils created a secret pact to power and taught it to the Tieflings of old to weaken their fealty to Asmodeus. In his wrath, Asmodeus destroyed the skimming devils and struck their very names from the memory of all beings. But you dare to study their perilous secrets anyways. You gain the Hellish Rebuke at will power, along with Dark One's Blessing. You have the Dark One Blessing Pack boom. You instantly gain Vitality from cursed enemies when the enemy falls. And when an enemy hits 0 from a Warlock curse, you immediately gain temporary hit points equal to your level. And finally, we have Star Pack. You have mastered the astrologer's art, learning the secret names of the stars and gazing into far realms beyond, gaining great power thereby. You can call upon powers that maiden or terrify your enemies, manipulate chance of fate, or score your foes with icy banes and curses drawn from beyond the night sky. Ooh. You gain the Dire Radiance at power, along with the Fate of the Void. You have the Fate of the Void Pact boon. Your curse intermingles with the lost vitality of a cursed enemy to reveal a glimpse of the future to you. When an enemy under your Warlock's curses reduces 0 hit points or fewer, you gain a +1 bonus to any single d20 roll you make during your next turn. Attack rolls, saving throws, skill checks, ability checks, etc. If you don't use this bonus by the end of your turn, it is lost. The bonus is cumulative. If 3 cursed enemies drop to 0 hit points or fewer before your next turn, you gain 3 plus bonus to your next d20 roll. That is really nice, and that is going to be the one we go. So, Star Pack, and along with that, we gain Dire Radiance, and we also get Dire Radiance, Fate of the Void. Just kind of fill in the gap. Now, like always, it's not really wise to try and fit everything onto the character sheet. By all means, you can if it makes it easier for you. But I personally find it easier to get a separate piece of paper, write down what your features and abilities, encounters at will, powers, etc., do, so that way it's not cluttered onto a page and you're not sitting there forever looking for it. Our next feature is the Prime Shot. If none of your allies are nearer to the target than you are, you receive a +1 bonus to range attack rolls against the target. Pretty nice. Shadow Walk is our next one. On your turn, if you move at least 3 squares away from where you started your turn, you gain concealment until the end of your next turn, which is essentially stealth. And finally, you have Warlock's Curse. This is the big thing about Warlocks. Once per turn, as a minor action, you can place a Warlock's Curse on the enemy nearest to you that you can see. A cursed enemy is more vulnerable to your attacks. If you damage a cursed enemy, you deal extra damage. You decide whether to apply the extra damage after making the damage roll. You can deal the extra damage once per round. A Warlock's Curse remains in effect until the end of the encounter or until the cursed enemy drops to 0 hit points or fewer. You can place a Warlock's Curse on multiple targets over the course of an encounter. Each curse requires the use of a minor action. You can't place a Warlock's Curse on a creature that is already affected by you or another character's Warlock Curse. And this will help you use a different variety of moves in different ways. Alright. As you advance in level, your extra damage increases. First to 10th level, it's 1d6. 11th to 20th, it's 2d6. And 21st to 30th, it's 3d6. Implements. Warlocks make use of rods and wands that channel and direct their arcane powers. A warlock wielding a magical rod or wand can add its enchantment bonuses to attack rolls and damage rolls of warlock powers, as well as warlock paragon path powers. Pretty simple. That's what implements are there for. It's to do extra damage with the moves that require it. So that's all of the features. Next, we are going to do the skills. It is very briefly. Alright, so we need to choose 4 trained skills from a list of Arcana, Bluff, History, Intimidate, Religion, Streetwise, and Thievery. We are going to do Bluff. So there's 1. Arcana. There's 2. 3. And Intimidate. There's 4. We get at our ability modifiers. So our dex is 1. Our int is 3. Strength is 0. Our charisma is 3. Our is 0. Constitution is 3. Wisdom is 0. Intellect is 3, wisdom 0, charisma 3, wisdom 0, 0, 3, 1, 1. Now, we can add them all up temporarily. We might have them change later on. We probably won't. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 0, 6, 7, 8, 3, 0, 3, 0, 8, 8, 0, 0, 3, 1, 3, 1. All right. Now that we've covered all that, we are now able to put in the Fortitude, Reflex, and Will. We don't have anything else here from the class that gives bonuses to these. So we have a 13 Fortitude and a 14 in Reflex and Will. The AC is determined by our armor, which will be leather armor. Leather armor is, I'm pretty sure, well, I actually have to go back because I cannot remember. It's different in 4E versus 5E. The initiative, we get a bonus from our dex mod, so no, not 0. Add that. Our insight and perception, we can do that now, which is both. Our insight is 0 and our perception is 0. Default 10. Alright. So, next, before we're going to finish off with the powers, but we're going to do the armor and weapons right now, along with the default feat. We are going to choose armors first. So let's go here. Currency. And we're going to go with leather armor. It's easy, it's cheap, it's sturdy. Leather armor. Leather armor is a +2 to our AC, but you also, with light armor, you add your dex mod to it. So we get 3, giving us an AC of 13, which is pretty nice. Ugh. Next weapon. Now, we're proficient with simple melee and simple range. So, we don't need range weapons, honestly, because, well, we have our Eldridge Blast if we ever need to, and that's more than enough. So, we're going to go with something simple in the melee. We're going to get 2 daggers. So let's go here, go down here, dagger times 2. Alright, so, and daggers are strength versus AC. Dagger, which is a 1d4. So we get no bonuses for you dagger in damage wise. We are proficient with the dagger, so we get +3 here. We have no feats or ability modifiers, have no strength or any of that. So we do get +3 to the actual accuracy though, which is really nice. That's when we use the dagger. Next, we gotta get an implement. We need a rod or a wand. Alright, so let's get... Trying to find the rod. Where'd the rod go? Further down. Further down. No, you're not here. Food, drink, log. Alright, we're just going to give ourselves the rod. Now, the rod is like staff, pretty much. So if you're going to use it to attack, you do the staff, the quarterstaff damage. However, if you're going to be hitting with your rod, there's an issue because like your daggers must have broken. You must be all out of something. All right. So the other thing left to do that is mandatory in a character creation is the powers. So let's go down. Let's go down, down. So we picked Dire Radiance, and here's what Dire Radiance does. It's a Constitution versus Fortitude, which deals 1d6 plus Constitution modifier damage in radiant damage. If the target moves near to you on its next turn, it takes extra 1d6 Constitution modifier damage. It's pretty nice. Eldridge Blasts is a Charisma versus or Constitution versus Reflex. You actually get to choose here. And considering our Charisma is 1 point higher, that's what we would choose. It is a 1d10 plus Charisma or Constitution modifier damage also. So since they're both 3, it doesn't matter. We can use either or, and it deals 3. And special, at first level, you determine whether to use your Charisma or Constitution to attack with this power. Once you make the choice, you can't change it later. The power counts as a ranged basic attack, and when the power allows you to make a ranged basic attack, you can use this power. Really nice. So, see, the thing with Warlocks is those are the only 2 at-will powers you can have. Because the other 2 at-will powers you get are via the other packs. So there's the Eye Bite, which is Charisma versus Will, which deals 1d6 Charisma physical damage, and you're invisible to the target until the start of your next turn. And then there's the Hellish Rebuke, which is Constitution versus Reflex, which is 1d6 Constitution modifier damage. If you take damage before the end of your next turn, the target takes an extra 1d6 on Constitution modifier damage. So, while most players still have like 5 at-will powers eventually, here you are permanently stuck with 2. However, it's not such a bad thing because they are 2 really powerful attacks that can be used over and over again. Next, Infernal Wrath for being a Tiefling. However, every race, every character wants 1 character. And as well as 1 daily power. So there is 4 encounter powers you can choose from. I'm going to read them off. Diabolic Grasp. It is 1 creature of size larger or smaller. It's a Constitution versus Fortitude. 2d8 Constitution modifier damage, and you slide the target 2 squares. If you have the Infernal Pack, you slide the target number of squares equal to your Intelligence modifier +1. Dreadful Word. 2d8 plus charisma modifier physical damage. Or physic damage. And the target gets a -1 penalty to will defense until the end of your next turn. It's a charisma versus will attack. That's pretty good. If you have the Star Pact, which we do, the penalty to will defense is equal to +1 plus your intelligence modifier. Which is 0, I'm pretty sure. No, 3. Yeah, 3. Hopefully I didn't mess it. No, I didn't. Which is equal to 3. So that's a really good one. Next is Vampiric Embrace, which is Constitution versus Will. 2d8 Constitution modifier, necrotic damage, and you gain 5 temporary hit points. If you have the Infernal Pact, you gain temporary hit points equal to 5 plus your intelligence modifier. So if we ran the Infernal Pact, that would be 8 temporary hit points we get for just hitting a guy. That's pretty damn good. Finally, it's Witchfire. Charisma versus Reflex, 2d6 charisma modifier damage, and the target takes a -2 penalty to attack rolls until the end of your next turn. If you run the Fey Pact, the penalty to attack rolls is equal to 2 plus your intelligence modifier. So since we ran with the Star Pact room, it's no giveaway that we're going to go with Dreadful Word. Like, that is really good. Although I would honestly start questioning whether I'd want to go for Infernal Pact now, just for Vampiric Embrace. I can pretty much never die. The last thing to do at level 1 is choose your daily. And you have 4 dailies to choose from. The first daily is Armor of Agath. It is a standard action and a personal action. You gain temporary hit points equal to 10 plus your intelligence modifier until the end of the encounter. An enemy that starts a turn adjacent to you takes a 1d6 Constitution modifier cold damage. So we'd be gaining 13 temporary hit points and dealing 1d6 plus 3 damage to guys adjacent to us. That's not too bad. And that is a Warlock Infernal attack. So you got to keep in mind here, because with the dailies, they don't really specify what is what. Like, it's in the name, like Warlock Infernal attack 1, so you got to pay attention to that. Because if you are Star, you can't pick Infernal. It's just how it is. However, I'm reading all of them to you, so you know if you want to go something else, what you would want to pick. So the Fey attack is Curse of the Dark Dream. It's a charisma versus will, 3d8 plus charisma modifier psychic damage, and you slide the target 3 squares. You also get a sustain minor. You slide the target 1 square whether you hit or miss. Now the one we're going to be going with, since we have the star, is Dreadstar. It's a charisma versus will, 3d6 plus charisma modifier radiant damage, and the target is immobilized until the end of its next turn. The target also takes a -2 penalty to will defense save ends. So we're going to go with that one. So we'll put that down. There is one more. No, not there. The final one, if you choose Infernal, is Flames of Fyethus. Okay, Constitution versus Reflex. It's a 3d10 Constitution modifier fire damage. The effect, the target takes an ongoing 5 fire damage. Late description for Infernal said, you want to hurt people. That is a potential 33 damage right there. That is insane. Absolutely insane. And that is pretty much everything you need to know for a Warlock. As you progress in levels, Warlocks, they are more in tune with rituals. They naturally have more arcana, so if you want to focus more with rituals, being a Warlock is your best option. I hate rituals, so I don't like using rituals. They just confuse me. But overall, as a warlock, this is a really good character, and this is a character I would definitely use for a campaign. I feel it could be really fun. I feel with this warlock, I'm more of the decisive type. Like, hey, you should do this because, you know, YOLO, and they would believe me. Oh, there's a little spider on my window. It's kind of cute. Anyways, the only thing left to do is the feature, and since this is the type of warlock I want to be, I'm going linguist. This allows me to pick 3 additional languages, which will be Dwarven, Elven, and Gnomish. Because why not? Actually, no. Orcish. This allows me to speak a variety of different languages to get myself out of sticky situations or convince people to do things for my own gain. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide to creating a warlock in Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition. Next time, we doing the Warlord. Stay tuned because the Warlord is one hell of a cool class. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, please leave down in the description below. And until then, have a nice day, everyone. My name's Bailey, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a nice day.